celebrations in his honor and proposed and later succeeded in changing the month of Quintilis, the month he was born, to Julius.
Dick sucking is so hilarious to watch.
Dick eating at its finest. Yo, how we doing? We good? We vibing? We chilling? I hope so. We in a new angle today. I got a camera, but everything's not working right. So, you know, trial and error, but I got a new camera. Well, I got a camera. I was using a webcam before. So we're gonna see how this gonna turn out. I'm gonna do one video today, edit it, and see how, you know, see how they go. Today we got the most famous killing in history by Imperil.
It's the 15th of March, 44 BC, in Rome. The most powerful man in the Roman Republic, the dictator Julius Caesar, walks through the doors of the Curia of Pompey, the temporary gathering point for the Roman Senate's meetings. The usual venue, the Roman Forum, a kilometre to the southeast, is undergoing renovations to build a new Senate house in Caesar's name, and is unavailable. The Curia, meaning meeting place in Latin, is located at the eastern point of a large open courtyard known as the Portico of Pompey. Compared to the Forum, it's rather secluded. It has no direct access to the side streets of Rome, and the only exits lead directly onto the portico. Today, this area is occupied by a large group of armed gladiators, who are loitering near the Curia entrance, trying to stay inconspicuous. Inside the Curia, senators are nervously...
I ain't even gonna lie, trying to stay inconspicuous, whatever the fuck you were. I basically said, let's look that up. Okay, back like, basically what I was saying. They were trying to basically not be seen, or, you know, or just, you know, yeah, basically not be seen. Like I said, they were sneaking around. But in reality, bro, you got a gladiator. You got a gladiator. You a gladiator. Don't you got all that armor and shit, nigga? Nigga see you.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
If a nigga don't see you, he lying himself. He nigga see you. Nigga see you with all that damn armor, nigga.
Milling about. They watch as Caesar takes a seat on his golden ceremonial chair at the front of the room. Caesar's right-hand man and closest ally, his co-consul Mark Antony, who had been with him before he entered, is nowhere to be seen. Unbeknownst to him, Antony is nearby, just outside, but he's being distracted by another senator. Caesar is alone. Across the room, a man rises from the benches and starts walking towards him.
Ain't no way, Caesar. Ain't no way, Caesar. What we doing? So that's how you go out? Because if a nigga walking towards me with a hand behind their back, I'm looking at his head like, what you got going on? You straight? What's behind your back? Like, I'm gonna be on point. You a king, Caesar. Like, what's going on? You must have been old at this time. I'm gonna assume you was old as fuck. Cause like, why are you not you better not went out like that, boy. You better not went out like that, boy. That might have been just the introduction though. So you know what I mean? We're gonna see about that.
To understand Caesar's death, we have to understand how he got here. In the eyes of Rome's political elite, Caesar had grown too powerful. Over the course of an almost 40-year career, he reached Rome's highest public office, consul. He conquered all of modern-day France and Belgium and parts of Switzerland, Germany, and the Netherlands. By all accounts, he was a military genius, and charismatic too. His armies, comprised of Roman legions, became loyal to him and only him. His many victories with them made him fabulously wealthy. Finally, he had a habit of pandering to the masses, opposing unpopular policies and presenting himself as a man of the people. He became very popular, perhaps too popular. In 49 BC, fearing Caesar was becoming larger than Rome, the Senate, alongside his chief rival, Pompey the Great, moved against him. They attempted to recall him from his campaign in Gaul and strip him of his military command, a command which gave him legal immunity under Roman law. Sensing that his enemies wished to prosecute him and curb his power on his return to the city, Caesar made a fateful decision. With a legion of soldiers in tow, he crossed the Rubicon River in northern Italy. The river marked the border between the Roman heartland and its other provinces, and by Roman law, all returning generals had to disband their armies and lay down their arms before crossing it, as to avoid internal conflicts. By deliberately ignoring this, Caesar started a civil war, one that would last 4 years and span the entire republic. In March of 45 BC, he would win that civil war, having defeated Pompey the Great, the only man that could rival him in influence and wealth. This made him the undisputed most powerful man in Rome. The Senate, an institution that once sought to reduce his power and influence, elected him to the consulship a further.
I personally don't understand how people be just this powerful. Doesn't people make people powerful? I know that's real. Like, I know that's like a crazy question to ask. I mean, it's obviously like people make you powerful. So why in the hell is like blindless fools following you, making you powerful if you're a bad guy?
He has a point.
3 times. And finally, in February of 44 BC, granted him the title of dictator for life.
Nigga, what? Dictator for life.
Dictator for life? What kind of even fucking title is that? Like, how is that a title? What type of stupid ass shit is that? Even if that was me, bro, I would be like, nah, hell nah. What are you talking about? Like, we can come as a collective old, but me just having sole decisions for all people that's around me, no, that's crazy. That's insane to me. Why y'all get off on kings and queens? Like, I'm not understanding why human beings have to have a ruler. Like, you have to have somebody looking over. You have to look up to somebody. Like, yeah, help me out type shit, or rule over me. I'm not understanding. Like, do it yourself.
For a time before the foundation of the Roman Republic, Rome had been ruled by kings. Tyrannical, cruel kings. When the last monarch, Tarquin the Proud, was overthrown around 509 BC, the Roman people, particularly the conservative aristocracy that would end up forming most of the Senate, vowed that no king should rule Rome again. It now seemed that Caesar fancied himself a king. He began wearing opulent royal garbs and constructing statues of himself in public. His allies called for extravagant celebrations in his honor and proposed and later succeeded in changing the month of Quintilis, the month he was born, to Julius.
Dick sucking is so hilarious to watch.
Dick eating at its finest. You're gonna praise a nigga so much, you changed the name of a month for this nigga?
Oh my God! I got you in 4K, just dick riding.
Oh my God, that he just took it. He had that shit went straight to his head. He was like, yeah, them niggas calling me king now, you know what I mean? I'm king for life till I die, you know what I mean? So you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna start posting up, have niggas, you feel me? How about chisels, niggas that do the statues and shit. Make me look good, fuck nigga. The whole people gonna see this. They gonna be looking at my shit like, yeah.
He installed in the Senate a golden chair designed specifically for him, the chair upon which he sits today. Caesar had grown too powerful, and he was flaunting it. He threatened the continued existence of the Republic. If defeating him on the battlefield was impossible, his foes would have to find another way to bring him down. The men who conspired to kill Caesar, a group of about 60, are diverse in their backgrounds. A few are...
Damn, 60 people? 60 people? Damn. And they all close as fuck to you. How in this time was people just so clueless of that back door? You don't think that back door was open because you king?
Let's come here.
Fuck your stupid ass.
I ain't gonna lie, when I be learning history, bro, it be seeming like the way people be dying sometime back then for these rulers and shit be stupid as a bitch. I just did a video other day about the shit, or so like I did a video on my channel about what's his name? Genghis Khan. When he died, his followers killed themselves. So they will never, like, his enemies will never know where his barrel or his treasures at or whatever.
Like, what?
You had so much loyal to one guy that you're gonna off yourself.
Nigga, what?
Man, I'm telling you, if it's a Jesus Christ out there, man, I like, them people gotta be in hell. Like, they took out millions of people, Genghis Khan. I ain't even finna get on that. I ain't gonna make that too much.
Former allies who felt their loyalty to him had not been sufficiently rewarded. Some are remnants of the Pompeian faction, the group that fought Caesar during the civil war under Pompey the Great, a group he, perhaps foolishly, pardoned.
I was just finna ask that same question, like, why are they in a room? You were just in civil war with them for 4 years. Like, that mind, that thinking of, like, that mindset, bro, I just don't understand that. Like, how are you just so cool with this?
A handful simply oppose his accumulation of power out of principle, fearing he would destroy the state's republican values. Most, however, are members of the conservative aristocracy, who profit greatly from Rome's republican form of government as they monopolize the Senate and thus oppose Caesar's centralization of power. These men had been meeting in secret for months to hatch a plan to kill him. They considered assassinating him in public on a street in Rome known as the Via Sacra. This was probably abandoned because the venue was too public. Any ally of Caesar's, if they were nearby, could simply intervene. Caesar had no bodyguards on payroll while in the city, but he was known to surround himself with some particularly intimidating friends to compensate. Another questionable idea was flinging him from a bridge and placing a number of armed men below it to ensure the fall would be fatal. They also considered striking while he was at a gladiator show, as they could hide the assassins in plain sight, posing as gladiators. Ultimately, though, a Senate session on the 15th of March was selected to be the best time to strike. Soon after this date, Caesar would be outside of the city on a military campaign to defeat the Dacians and the Parthian Empire to Rome's east, making it far more difficult for them to reach him and allowing him to accumulate even more glory, prestige, and power. Choosing a Senate meeting made sense, too. All those present were sure to be unarmed, as it was generally prohibited to bring weapons into the Senate House, making resistance unlikely. Most of the Senate were indeed loyal to Caesar, but even his closest allies would think twice to spring to his defense when faced with a blade. Additionally, in a closed Senate meeting, Caesar could be dealt with more subtly, away from the prying eyes and ears of the public and Caesar's informal protection. So, on the day of the 15th, daggers are secretly brought into the Curia of Pompey in wooden boxes usually used to carry writing tablets for record-keeping. Before Caesar's arrival, members of the conspiracy retrieve the blades and conceal them underneath their togas. Outside the building, the conspirators deploy a group of armed gladiators to cover the Curia's exits, ensuring that Caesar won't get far should he try to escape. They are owned by the senator Decimus Brutus, a man that Caesar considers to be a close friend and ally, a man named second in his will, a man that Caesar trusts.
See? That back door is open.
Close that back door, can you shake that back home?
He in your wheel? Second in your wheel? To you, you thinking, my mama did my guy. Did my guy? You must have been like a dirt ball. Like in reality, you must have been a dirt ball. Because how in the fuck do they all get on the same accord? Like, how are you so lost in the sauce that you don't know your man's is not your man's? Was being king, is that like a power? It's like, it must be like a drug. It gotta be like a drug to these niggas. Because like, how are you not seeing these signs? You just, I'm king. These niggas got to do this. Because if they don't, they know what's gonna happen. You're still human. You act like a god. Like, that's what be so crazy to these niggas that get in power. It'd be like, bro, just because these bitch ass niggas is bitches, don't mean everybody is bitches. That's finna come across you, bro. Somebody's gonna realize, wait, hold up. We both human at the end of the day. You got me fucked up, actually. Especially like real deal harming people, real deal being an asshole, real deal just being a bully, just taking and shit. Like,
Shoot it out whatever, I ain't worried.
oh no, cause a nigga like me, you got me bent, you got me fucked all the way. I don't care who it is. It could be God, nigga. It could be the Lord itself, nigga. He on some taking shit, on some bullying shit, on some just take away my peace, just disturbing my peace type shit, just doing something that's not needed because you think you can. I'm not going for none of that shit.
Caesar would not question the presence of the gladiators, knowing them to be Decimuses. Finally, when Caesar arrives with his co-consul Mark Antony, a senator by the name of Gaius Trebonius pulls him aside and begins to speak with him. Antony is a big, brawny man, and his loyalty to Caesar is without question. The conspiracy thought it wise to take him out of the equation and ensure he did not intervene in Caesar's defense. Though the conspirators originally considered murdering the both of them together, they thought the optics of killing Caesar alone would be better. It would appear like the just killing of a tyrant, and not an arbitrary massacre. The stage is now set. All that remains is for the signal to be given. That signal is Senator Tillius Cimber. As he marches towards the dictator, he exclaims loudly that Caesar should pardon his brother and return him from exile. Suddenly, dozens of other senators rise from their seats, and they too start approaching Caesar, shouting words of support for Cimber's request. The senators circle him like sharks in the water, growing ever closer, until Cimber thrusts out his fist and tears Caesar's toga down, revealing the tunic underneath. Startled, Caesar recoils and shouts. Moments later, the senator Publius Casca strikes the first blow from behind, with a dagger thrust that grazes Caesar's shoulder.
So you telling me you had the ups on a nigga and missed? Ah, God.
Shock, twirls around and allegedly stabs Casca with a pen in retaliation. But alas, the pen is not mightier than the sword. In seconds, Caesar becomes enveloped by a shroud of togas and collapses under a hail of daggers.
Ooh. Oh man, they did you dirty. 5 niggas. Fat ass knives too. Ooh. That's one way out, man. That stabbing shit. Ooh. I feel like I would rather get shot than stabbed. For sure. Look at them fat ass knives. Like he just went down. Like they just finna be stabbing the shit out of bruh.
2 Caesar loyalists try to break through to defend him, but they are pushed back. Marcus Brutus, a leading conspirator and former Pompeian, stabs Caesar in the groin amid the frenzy.
Yo, Caesar, how are these niggas that mad at you, bruh? You just got stabbed in the dick. Like all them stabs in the back, the arm, the chest, the neck, the head, and all that. A nigga hated you that bad. He stabbed you in your dick.
I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
A truly humiliating blow. After inflicting 23 stab wounds,
23 stab wounds, 1 in the dick.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Shit crazy.
the crowd of assassins stand back and admire their work. The would-be king, the tyrant, is dead. In a twist of irony, Caesar would bleed out beneath a statue of his former Civil War rival, Pompey the Great. A statue he had refused to tear down.
That's
tough, my guy.
See, I would catch shit like that. Even if I was watching the movie, I'd be like, damn, look at his enemy right there in the statue, looking down on him. I would catch shit like that. I'd be like, damn, I don't know what that means, but it means something. It's just coincidence, or I don't know what's the word to say it, but it's just crazy. I mean, that's what I mean. That's the word I would say, but I know it's a better word to use, but.
Caesar should have seen it coming. According to classical sources, a month before his demise in February of 44 BC, he visited a fortune teller by the name of Spurina. He brought to her an animal to be sacrificed, and it is said that on the altar she could not find its heart in its chest cavity. Seeing this as a bad omen, she warned Caesar his life was in danger. The next day, when he returned again with a different sacrifice, she was unable to find part of its liver. From the entrails of the animal, she divined that Caesar would come to great harm on the Ides of March, otherwise known as the 15th, the midpoint of the month. But that wasn't all. The Roman historian Plutarch tells us that on the day before the 15th, Caesar and a fellow senator began discussing the best way to die, to which Caesar responded, quote, "A death which is unexpected." Ominously, later that evening, when he and his wife Calpurnia were asleep, the windows and doors of their bedchamber flew open simultaneously, rousing Caesar from his slumber. His wife was yet asleep, yet she tossed and turned, muttering something under her breath. The next morning, upon waking up, she begged Caesar not to attend the Senate meeting, for she had dreamt their house had collapsed and seen visions of her holding Caesar's bloodied, lifeless corpse. Caesar was, by Roman standards, not particularly superstitious, but the mounting signs were enough to put even him at unease. To be sure, he summoned his own seers and had them conduct sacrificial rituals. All of them yielded bad omens. That was enough for him to postpone the Senate meeting, resolving not to attend. So why in the end did he end up going? Well, his old friend Decimus Brutus convinced him on the morning of the Senate meeting to ignore the omens and attend anyway. He appealed to Caesar's ego. Would it not appear improper and above all ridiculous or cowardly if Caesar did not show his face at a session he summoned merely on the grounds of superstition? What would that sort of behavior do to his reputation? So he went, and on his way to the Curia of Pompey, he was stopped by a man on the street. The man handed him a scroll and urged him to read it immediately, claiming it concerned him. Reports tell us that this scroll supposedly contained details of the plot against him. For one reason or another, Caesar did not read it and walked directly into the lion's den.
Man, if that's all true, man, that shit is crazy. If that's all true, man, that damn that made me feel like any bad signs, somebody said, bro, you should maybe chill tonight. Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. I will be at the crib tonight. My girl, damn, I had a bad dream. I don't think we should go out tonight. Oh, I bet. I will be in tonight.
Caesar's death would lead to a power vacuum and civil war that determined the fate of the Republic. Caesar's adoptive son, Octavian, and his former consul, Mark Antony, would form an alliance with one of Caesar's most trusted generals, Marcus Lepidus. Together they would hunt down the men that murdered Caesar and crush all who opposed their rule, leading ultimately to the fall of the Republic. All who opposed their rule. Together they would hunt down the men that murdered Caesar and crush all who opposed their rule, leading ultimately to the...
So they ended up dying anyway, like all that shit they wanted to get.
He marches towards the dictator. He exclaims loudly that Caesar should pardon his brother and return him from exile.
See what I mean? I kind of figured that was gonna happen because I'm thinking like, bro, even after you kill him, what do you think is gonna happen to the people that was riding and dying for them niggas? And then he did say partly earlier that they didn't want to kill everybody else, just him, because it would seem like a massacre. Bro, you would have to. Do you understand? You're going to have to kill everybody that feels strong-hearted about Caesar. Whoever that you just killed, regardless of any situation. You see what's going on with Young Dolph? No, y'all heard about that. Niggas love Young Dolph. Niggas love Young Dolph. Young Dolph put niggas up in positions that they probably wouldn't ever dream about. You gonna take them out? Come on, that's what you expect was gonna happen. What you expect was gonna happen. You want to take out everybody else. Because they feel like it's hopeless now. It's over with. What we got to live for? Like, I don't want to have to start over. I've been doing this shit 10 years strong, living this type of money. Look at this type of lifestyle, and you took it out on some other shit. So, you know, of course, you know, it goes back and forth. It ain't just one side either type shit. It ain't just, if other side would have died. You would have to kill the other, you would have to kill, see, it would have been the same way. It would have been the same way. You just cannot just kill that one person and expect this shit just for to be cool. No, especially if the dude was a boss, like a king, like he was definitely like putting on for people that they would never, ever, ever even seen this type of money or to seen this type of lifestyle if it wasn't because of this person. And you took him out, bro, you're gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna come for you.
Fall of the Republic and the rise of a hereditary monarchy under the Roman Empire. Octavian would become emperor, and he would not make his father's mistakes. Caesar pardoned many of his enemies, even promoted them and gave them honors. Where others would have destroyed every trace of Pompey, Caesar elected to keep his statues up as a show of grace. His mercy might have killed him, and it might mean that the last thing that Caesar ever saw while he was dying in a pool of his own blood was a statue of Pompey, staring down at him mockingly. Caesar treated his foes too kindly and flaunted his power too brazenly.
I was gonna ask, you said too kindly, but isn't his sons doing the exact same thing? He pardoned them, gave them raises, and gave them high positions. Isn't that being nice? Like, I'm being a little too nice.
Making him a man that people hated, not necessarily a man that they feared. In the words of the historian John Balston, if an authoritarian government was to be established successfully in the Republic's place, it must not be, like Caesar's, an inconsiderate, careless and frank authoritarianism. It must wear a Republican mask, however false.
No, you won't find me at no store.
Great video. Didn't really understand that last part. Maybe I should read it over again. Don't really want to though. So I hope y'all have a great day. That's pretty much it, man. The fuck out of here. Peace.
Matters no more.